Okay, good morning. We're ready to call the board meeting to order. Ms. Richmond, please call the roll.
Chairman Runner,
Here.
Ms. Ma,
Here.
Mr. Horton, Ms. Harkey,
Here.
Ms. Towers,
Here.
Quorum is present. Why don't you please stand with and join me? I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Richmond, first item, please.
Good morning, members. Our first item on this morning's agenda is item C, public hearings. Item C1, property taxes, state assessees presentations on the valuation of state assessed properties. And we do have a public comment that we will have read into the record.
Okay, thank you.
Morning, Chairman Runner and
Good
members
morning.
of the board. I'm Mike Harris, manager with the State Assessed Properties Division. This is the second opportunity under board rule for state assessees and other interested parties to present comments to the board in a public setting regarding matters affecting state assessments for the fiscal year 2018-2019. I'm here to address any comments and answer any questions. But I did want to make a few comments regarding this year's assessments. Staff has worked with representatives from all the various industries to determine the appropriate way to reflect the effects of the new Tax Cuts and Job Act of 2017 on valuations for 2018-2019. The significant reduction in the corporate tax rate, limitations on the deductibility of interest expense, and deductibility of capital expenditures has different valuation impacts on rate-based regulated companies versus non-rate-based regulated companies. For rate-based regulated companies, the value impact will most likely be minimal, as the regulators will require the benefits of the new tax law to be passed on to ratepayers. These rate-based regulated companies will not be recognizing a windfall from the new tax law. For non-rate regulated companies, their values can be increased simply because of the reduced tax burden. Absent any revenue reductions, these non-rate regulated companies will benefit from lower income tax rates. For non-rate regulated industries where we place some reliance on the income approach, the value could increase. Also, we have been working with independent power producers to make sure we are considering the effects of renewables on the energy market. We have done the following in that regard. Increased capitalization rates to reflect the increased risk for California power plants, shorten economic lives where plants are in jeopardy of shutting down. Where income projections are more reliable, we are weighting the income approach to a larger degree. We have reduced revenue projections for periods subsequent to expiration of power purchase agreements, and we've modified our cost approach to capture the economic obsolescence resulting from decreasing spark spreads. These actions have resulted in the narrowing of the differences in the value indicators for most state-assessed power plants. Normally, during this public hearing, Mr. Peter Michaels has appeared. He couldn't make it today, but he submitted a letter he'd like read into the record. It says, "Dear Ms. Richmond, I am writing to report to the board that for the past month, the state assessees that my law firm represents have worked closely with the State Assessed Properties Division on 2018 valuation issues generally applicable to telephone companies, inter-county pipeline companies, gas and electric utility companies, and independent electric power generation companies. We have also addressed unique valuation issues presented by individual legal entities. We expect to continue working with the board staff over the next several weeks in advance of the 2018 value setting session on May 30th. We are grateful for board staff's accessibility and responsiveness and are hopeful that most of our methodological concerns will be addressed through the exchange of information and data, as well as continuing dialogue. A list of the state assessees represented by my law firm is separately attached. Very truly yours, Peter Michaels.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Members, any questions? Yes.
Just a comment. I want to thank you very much for going through and increasing the cap rates and shortening the economic life and all these other things that you've done to bring the values more in line. I commend you because it was necessary. And when we had these wide variations, it was obvious we had an issue. So thanks very much for getting that in line.
I know it's been challenging for staff, but they've been working hard on it. So
Yeah,
thank you.
they have. Successfully, too, I think. We're not hearing any complaints.
Well, thank you.
So it's all good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions, members? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Our next item is item F, Other Tax Program Non-Appearance Matters. Item F1, Property Taxes Matters. These items are constitutional functions, therefore the Deputy Controller may not participate in these items under Government Code 7.9, and these items can be adopted in one vote.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wang.
My name is Samuel Wong. I represent the SAPD. I'm the manager. I'm just here to answer any questions you might have on the audits.
Okay,
Yes,
Runner. There were a list of questions that I had forwarded to staff, not from my office, but Member Horton wanted me to ask them. These are a consent calendar. I have no problem with approving on consent, but I think it would be nice to have these questions asked. The one was providing the board with a summary of general audit errors, what was done to correct them, when audit results indicate common reporting errors like misclassification of equipment, what efforts are done to educate all the assessees. When companies are sold, do we contact them? You're going to get all of these in writing, so you don't have to take notes.
They haven't got them yet? Is that? They're coming?
We just sent them over to Mr. Nanjo and Mr. Kinney and Brenda as well. So, and then is the audit selection process random or all the assessed audits on a regular basis? And you might be able to even answer that. Is the audit selection process random or are they all assessed on a regular basis?
Well, most of them are selected based on we have a sheet we call the audit info sheet.
Right.
And during the appraisal, appraisers will put down any potential issues based on the reporting, and then we will select the audits from the audit info sheet.
Okay.
That's most of the audits. Once in a while, we might have audits picked just because the company has not been audited for a while,
Okay.
even though there was no any particular issues.
Okay, thank you very much. And the rest of the questions, if you could just get back and maybe just provide them to staff in the executive report next board hearing. And that way everybody would be on the same page. It'd be a public document and we could have the answers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Other questions? I guess. Okay, is there a motion?
So moved to approve staff recommendation.
A second? Okay. Any objection? Okay. Passes. Next item.
Our next item is item J, the consent agenda for the administrative session. J1, we have a retirement resolution for Paula Montez. J2, approval of board meeting minutes for the March 27, 2018 board meeting. And J3, report on time extensions for El Dorado, Los Angeles, and Trinity counties to complete and submit fiscal year 2018-19 local assessment roll pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code, Section 155. And these items may be adopted in one vote.
Okay, I will go ahead and read the resolution for Paula Montez. Paula Montez will retire on May 1st after 39 years of outstanding service to the Board of Equalization. Paula began her career with the BOE in 1979 as a stenographer in the Property Tax Department. After a leave of absence, she returned to the BOE in 1982, worked her way through the Program Technician Series, and then became a tax auditor in May 1997. In 1999, she took a position as Assistant Property Audit Appraiser. The following year, she was promoted to her current position, which is Associate Property Auditor Appraiser in the County Assessed Properties Division of the Property Tax Department. We want to thank Paula for her good service for many, many years and wish her good luck in her retirement. Is there a motion on the,
I will need to
Consent.
recuse myself from J2 because I was not here.
J2? Okay, so let's have a motion excluding, how about on all items?
I can make the motion to approve items J1 and J3.
Okay, second? Is there a second?
Second.
Second? Without objection? Okay, motion passes.
Also move to approve item J2, board minute meetings.
I have to abstain.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. Any objection? Okay, that passes. Okay. Next item, Ms. Richmond.
Our next item is item K, other administrative matters. K1 is the Executive Director's Report. K11, organizational update.
Mr. Kinney.
Morning, Chairman Runner, members. I'm Dean Kinney, Executive Director. This month's briefing provides updates on the following topics: office space and leases for board members, legislative budget hearing for fiscal year 2018-19, budget change proposal, and AB 102 Year 1 milestones. Office space leases for board members' offices. As you know, AB 102 declares that as current leases expire, BOE board members are to be moved into one state-owned building. DGS and DOF are working with us to prepare for the transition of outgoing and incoming members based on lease expiration dates. Current leases are either already in soft term or will be in soft term by the first half of 2019. We'll keep you informed as plans develop on this matter.
Okay.
Legislative budget hearings for
Let me just,
fiscal-
let's take these one at a time. Members, any questions in regards to that issue?
No, I know mine's up in 19.
Okay.
Legislative budget hearings for fiscal year 2018-2019. As you know, budget hearings are in process. The Assembly Budget Subcommittee number 4 was held on April 10th, and the Senate Budget and Fiscal Review Subcommittee number 4 occurred on April 12th. The BOE agenda item focused on staffing levels for board members' offices. Chairman Runner and Vice Chair Ma, along with chiefs of staff for Mr. Horton and Mrs. Harkey's offices, spoke at the hearing to convey the impact of AB 102 and the pending budget actions on their staff, both civil service and exempt employees. A significant component of the discussion was related to the need for a personnel action plan that would specify the options for impacted employees. We are working with CalHR and CDTFA to create a specific course of action for impacted employees. We will, of course, keep the employees and you up to date. I'd like to note that our and the legislature's expectation is that the plan will allow adequate time to provide specific information to each impacted employee prior to July 1, 2018.
Okay. I want to thank each of the members who were there and also and staff that was there. I think we presented our cases well, and I think we had enough good examples, and hopefully the legislature is considering the issues to help continue the transitions that were initiated last year. Any other questions on that?
Since there's 3 senators that will probably come over and sit here, I'd expect it to go well in the Senate.
Thank you.
Okay.
BOA budget change proposal. We've submitted a budget change proposal requesting budget and staff resources to address the gaps identified following the transition of employees, equipment, property, and funding from BOE to CDTFA. The positions requested will address our existing personnel gaps in the legal department, the alcoholic beverage and insurance tax programs, and web service and information security areas. I'd like to note that at this stage of the budget process, the Department of Finance treats BCPs as confidential material. We can, of course, provide you with more details later.
Okay. Thank you.
And then finally, as we're soon approaching the 1-year milestone of AB 102, the Taxpayer Transparency and Fairness Act of 2017, we've made good progress standing up to post AB 102 BOE. However, there's much more to get done. Our work plan for the remainder of this calendar year includes, but is by no means limited to, redesigning our Internet public-facing website to reflect the BOE's current mission and responsibilities to ensure that our taxpayers and citizens have access to the information they need. Redesigning our intranet to provide our employees with full access to the BOE system and to the information relevant to their needs. Updating our BOE policies to reflect the post-AB 102 BOE, and separating and transferring our historical records, files, publications, and other documents from CDTFA back to the BOA. I'd like to thank staff and the managers for their cooperation and support during the first year of transition. We've adapted a all-hands-on-deck approach in dealing with the many issues that have come up with the transition. Staff's done an excellent job in helping us craft the path forward, and I appreciate their teamwork and commitment to BOE's success. This concludes my report.
Okay. Any questions to the Executive Director?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have no closed session, so at that point, this meeting is adjourned.
All right. One and done.